Prince Andrew could be banned from attending activities on royal estates, like shooting parties. That's been reported by the Daily Mail this morning.
Well, it comes after the Duke reportedly emailed paedophile Jeffrey Epstein long after claiming that they had broken contact. And in the email, he uses the phrase, "We'll play some more soon." Saying, we are in this together. So is it time that Prince Andrew just removed himself from this country once and for all, effectively went into a kind of self-imposed exile? Newsweek chief royal correspondent Jack Royston thinks he should buy a one-way ticket out of the UK. Historian and broadcaster Tessa Dunlop believes he needs to deal with it here at home. It's the royal family's responsibility. Jack, this email emerged over the weekend. The tone of it was really unsavoury, sort of jokey.
Yep.
And it was after he'd told Emily Maitlis back in that infamous interview he'd ceased all contact with Jeffrey Epstein. It's absolutely exploded, that story.
And it's really important to know that Andrew would have known that Epstein had been convicted for soliciting a minor for prostitution at the point that he sent Epstein an email saying, "We are in this together."
And that email was sent only the day after the Daily Mail first published that infamous photograph with Andrew with his arm around Jeffrey's waist. But he makes no reference in the email to Epstein, like, where's this picture come from? Who is this girl?
I mean, he was very clearly lying to Emily Maitlis when he said that he went to New York to break off the friendship with Jeffrey Epstein and that it was as simple as that. And so I think the royal family are now in a position where they really need to send a very strong message to the public, including other victims of sexual offences, that there is a zero-tolerance policy. And that's, you know, Andrew will always say he's not guilty, you know, he's never been convicted, but it's not just about that. He tolerated Epstein, you know, and he has done such an inadequate job of defending himself against the allegations.
Tessa, Jack says get him a one-way ticket out of the UK. Is banning him from shooting parties enough?
Of course it's not. You know, stop press. Andrew can't shoot pheasant this Christmas. I mean, who's the winner there? The real problem is you can't pretend people don't exist. You can't sack people who don't have jobs. Andrew is privilege personified, and guess what? He's 100% made in Great Britain. As a nation who at the moment are clamouring to send all ne'er-do-wells, asylum seekers, foreign criminals, etc., back to their countries of origin, how can we stand on ceremony and try and hoist Andrew, not convicted of anything, by the way, still constantly claiming he's innocent, to another country? I bet even Rwanda couldn't be bribed to receive him.
Well, he's not convicted, but he is revealed by this email to be a liar, because he stated explicitly in the interview that he hadn't had any contact with Epstein after that last meeting in the park, and yet he sent him this, as you say, extremely salacious email. I mean, when he says, "We'll play again soon," we know what he's talking about.
And actually, what I thought the most shocking bit of that email was where he says to Epstein, "We'll rise above it," because guess what? Here was a boy, the first son born to a reigning monarch in 103 years, all his life silver-plated, hands off me, I can do what I want.
What would sending
he could rise above the system.
What would exiling him achieve?
It would. You have to show people the message that you want to give them. You can't just tell people, "Oh, well, we don't, you know, we're going to stop funding Andrew," right? They have to be able to see it with their eyes. So if you send Andrew out of the country, it sends a really clear message that he will then be photographed. Let's say he goes to France, like Edward VIII did. You know, Edward VIII, the Duke of Windsor. He abdicated the throne to marry Wallis Simpson. He lived in exile, effectively, in France. You know, there would be photographs of him living about his life in France. There would be a real visible visual
We can't even get him out of the Royal Lodge, let alone get him out of the country. This is pie-in-the-sky stuff, and it goes down to the lack of transparency rules that the royal family get away with. They operate under a different system from the rest of us mere mortals, and we can't rely on their individual decency.
It's certainly true what you say about him staying in the Royal Lodge. Somebody once said he was harder to shift than mud from a blanket. Thank you both very much indeed for coming in. Thanks to you for all your calls, and as many of you think he should go.